Hello there everyone, hope you are doing great. Welcome back to another video. If you are one of those users who would go through all the primary settings before starting the projects, talking about the unit systems, filters, view templates, line weights, colors, print settings, plot settings, and many more basically. To put this simply, if you feel like you need to go through all the basic and primary settings each time that you want to start a project, well, this is a video for you, so pay attention please. To give you a preview, today you'll learn how to create a project template based on your needs and specified standards. Now, obviously, after getting your own personal project templates, you would easily be able to use them in your future projects instead of spending time, or actually you can say wasting time. Yeah, wasting time going through all the primary settings all over again. And also using project templates, you would be able to work more professionally and accurately. Now, I'm going to begin my work by showing you one of my own personalized or customized templates. Take a look at this one, for example. As you can see, we got a multidiscipline-based, categorized or organized project browser. And as for the items, let's say I want to use a wall. As you can see, within my type selector, I have access to all the different types of walls that I might need during my project. For instance, let's say I want to set some walls like this. Or, another type. Yeah, so basically I've got different types, different thicknesses, and for different usages, guys. As another example on another item, let me work with axis. As you can see, I just need to select the item and start setting my axis or grid based on what I need in my project, and and regarding their settings, well, they are all predefined or pre-specified, if you will. And well, in this case, by predefined or pre-specified settings, I mean, for example, the symbols, the line weight, even the line type, guys. Now, obviously, guys, this way, not only working on a project would be extremely faster, but also, as I said before, it would be more professional. Now, guys, remember, the matter of predicting what kind of settings, for example, you might need during a project goes back to your own experience. That's it. Now, as for the next item that I'm going to try, give me doors. Guys, what I meant by experience is exactly this. Take a look at the type selector. I've prepared several types of doors that I felt that we would use a lot during different projects. And the same goes for the windows. See, again, we got several types of windows that we can work with. And the fact that these windows are actually parametric elements is a cherry on top. Next up, give me floor. Just need to specify the elevation. Then I just need to select a type here. And it doesn't really matter whether we need a structural floor or an architectural one. I mean, we simply got both. Next up, I'm going to select the walls, set their base constraint on the 0 level. Let's try selecting a finishing layer such as plaster. And then the only thing that we need to do would be specifying the height. And using the items that we got up here to set the layers, the finishing layers. I'm sure you already know about all of these items. See, we got the finishing layers. Or for the floor, again, first select your type from the type selector. And remember, guys, although these types are ready, you can always modify them further. You can modify them based on what you need. Like, for example, changing their type, adding more detail, or basically, well, yeah, as I said, just modify them based on what exactly you need. All right. Now entering 3D. Here we go. How about dimensions? Well, take a look at this, guys. I've got different types of dimensions for different types of scales. And now I can easily select the dimension that I want and start setting them in my project without going through any extra settings, like, for example, based on my project or different scales that I might have. And yeah, this is very good. And regarding creating the sheets, guys, as you can see, for example, the file got automatically set inside the sheet, and also its schedules are automatically being created as well. For example, schedules for doors, for walls, and basically the items that we would use in a project. Or, for example, as another example, actually, let's say we need to deal with the concept of rooms, or for example, the tags. Guys, let me tell you this, such processes are quite repeated during different projects. Well, actually repeated and at the same time very important. That's why we can actually specify something for them in different project templates. Take a look at this, guys. The function of rooms are specified here. Well, based on what we need during the project, we can just easily select what we want from this list. Now, guys, another very important concept that we need to mention would be the concept of view templates. So we got them here. Or, for example, all the filters that we might need during a project. Now, guys, question, how exactly we can create such a thing? Well, let me close this file down, then we can talk about it. Now, I'm going to hit new, guys. Then in here, based on the discipline in which we want to work, we need to select a template. And I'm sure you already know all about the different disciplines and the related templates. Just know that for working on a collaborative project, it's always better to go with a multidiscipline template. For now, though, I'm just going to go with default metric. Now, using project here, guys, you would get RVT formats, and using project templates, you would get RTE. Now, as you know, RTE stands for Revit templates, and this is what exactly we're trying to create, so I'm going to go with project templates. After opening the template, guys, we basically just need to start working on the items that we might find, useful the most. Like, to give you an example, guys, the first thing that we can modify or edit would be the templates unit system. And remember, we're trying to work with a metric system. So I'm going to open up project units, length, give me meters with 2 decimal places. And again, 2 decimal for the area. Next up for the slope, I'm going to go with percentage. By the way, guys, up here we got this discipline list from which we can select a discipline in order to, specify the unit system in there as well. For example, give me HVAC. Now here for airflow, we got LS, liters per second, and instead I'm going to go with cubic meters per hour. And again with 2 decimal. Or as another example, for the duct size, we got millimeters. I'm going to go with inches instead. Again with 2 decimal, and yeah, that is all basically. After we went through the unit system, here we got additional settings. I'm going to open up line weights here. Now, what we can do here, guys, would be specifying different line weights, different thicknesses based on different IDs and scales. For example, I'm going to set the line weight here on 0.3. The ID is 1 and the scale is 100th. Then next up, give me 0.6. Then 0.75, 0.1, 1.25, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, and the rest basically. These would be different line weights that we would get for different IDs in the scale 100th. Now, from object styles, we would be able to modify the line weights within cut and projection modes. For example, for the wall, the ID within projection mode is 1 and in cut is 3. So one more time, from additional settings, I'm going to go ahead and open up line weights. Now, what were the IDs? We had 1 in the scale 100th. The thickness would be 0.3. And for ID 3, we have 0.75. So as you can see, these are easily manageable, guys. Very useful. Now, take a look at these levels that we got here, guys. I'm going to add another one, maybe down here. Yeah, so a minus level that I'm going to call B1. And as for its elevation, give me -3. Now, what I have in mind for these levels, guys, would be adding or loading some families for them. For example, some symbols. So let me select one to load, guys. Give me this one, metric level head triangle spot. After loading the family from edit type, we can easily replace it with what we have. Okay, here we go, guys. Now, I'm going to open up edit type again, get a copy of the name, search for it in project browser, right click and edit, And then here, we can basically just modify our symbol. And the modifications could be applied on the frame, for example, the font size, the font type, and basically any other aspects that we might find necessary. For example, I'm going to activate wrap for both of the items here. Then maybe minimizing the frame. And I can also specify a formula here for displaying that whole mathematical symbols automatically. So symbol, type text. Then as for the formula, guys, if inside open parentheses, the elevation was equal to 0, comma, double quotation, hold Alt, and type down 0177. All right, now another double quotation. Now one more time, if the elevation this time was greater than 0, give me a plus symbol, and otherwise nothing, null. We got two open parentheses, close both of them down. Now set this plus symbol here, space and 0. And yeah, I guess that would be it. Let's load this back in. And now as you can see, the mathematical symbols would automatically be added to our levels. Now back to the first level, I'm going to select Vault and open up Edit Type. You would be able to create new types. For example, wall 200 millimeters. Now, the thickness that I have in mind is 20 cm, but I'm going with 200 millimeters here in the name because I'm trying to work based on the BIM naming conventions and standards. Now we can add a material to this, guys. Honestly, these processes are completely repeated in any project, any BIM or modeling project. So by going through them right now, we can kind of avoid going through them again and again during the project itself. And remember, guys, kinda, because during the project, we might have to work on something quite specific. Now I'm going to set this on unconnected, second level, and the location line, core face exterior. Yeah, so these would be some default settings for this type of wall. Okay, guys, let's see what other items we can talk about or we can work on basically. Like one thing that comes to mind would be the project browser. Yeah, let's talk about this. Actually, project browser is one of the most important segments of our work, guys. So it's always better to work with a completely organized project browser. I'm going to do a right click here and select browser organization. Then here I'm going to hit new. We need an organization name like BIM-LOD. And this time I'm going to set the group by on discipline. Then by family and type. And as for the sort by down here, give me associated levels. Yeah, I guess this will do. Apply and OK. Now, as one other thing, guys, we can actually create a parameter for this whole thing. From project parameter, new, for the name, why can't I think of anything? doc. Type on text and group on identity. And here I'm going to select views. Now I need a default value for this, WIP, work in progress. Right, now back to the browser organization tab, edit. Then from this tab, I'm going to set the group by on doc, then discipline, and then family and type, or any other thing that you want. Now, if we check the project browser, we would see that everything is completely categorized based on what we just specified. Also, the level that we created earlier is not added here because it was a reference level. Don't worry though. Just enter floor plans, select the level, and hit OK. And now the level is added to the project browser. Now, I'm going to select this level, set its discipline on architecture. Now, I'm going to select these. And from identity for the doc, type down WIP, as in work in progress, as I said. It could be any other thing, like maybe approved. And as you can see in the project browser, the categories would become even more complete now. And honestly, guys, this whole categorizing, this whole organizing would be extremely helpful when you want to create, for example, schedules or legends. So yeah, guys, as I said earlier, such processes are very important, but they are quite predictable. So you can kind of work on them before starting a project. Alright guys, now let's talk about another way for creating a project template quite rapidly. Take a look at this, guys. If I try to work with some MEP items, for example, fittings, they simply won't work. Why do you think they won't work though? Well, the answer is quite simple, because our template is an architectural one. And as a result, all the settings, all the specified settings are architectural based. Now, in such cases, guys, we can actually use a technique. What? Well, we can combine the templates. For example, I'm going to select UK pipe here. Open. And now we basically have two open files, guys, two open templates. And now for manage, I'm going to click on transfer project standards. Now from this list, I can select all the required piping items, then transfer them basically into my architectural file or into the template that I'm trying to create. So I'm probably selecting these items in order to transfer them into my new template. And after the transferring process was finished, we can close down this file. All right, basically, guys, after we're done, if we go ahead and select, for example, pipe, so you can see we have access to all the types that we had in the previous template. For example, I'm going to select push fit. Give me 110 for the diameter and middle elevation 0. See, now it's working, guys. We can set the pipes here. All right, I just wanted you to see this. I'm going to remove them for now. All right, next up here from files, I'm going to click on export, PDF, and we can specify some settings here as the default settings. The same goes for example, DWG export. As an example here, I'm going to enable export rooms, set the unit in meters. For the color, give me specified in view. Editable. For the layers, give me ISO standards. And apart from specifying such settings, guys, you can actually create a new setup structure. For example, I'm going to call this one DWG export. Okay. And kind of save these settings inside our structure. And then in our future projects, we can just easily use this, you can say setup system or preset, whatever you want to call it, basically. Well, by the way, guys, we can select the required setup system from this list. All right, save and close. Next up, guys, we can create different types of title blocks. To be more precise, guys, from view, then schedule, we can click on sheet list and try creating a placeholder for ourselves. Oh, this is not right. Sorry about that. Sheet list here. Now in this tab, we got a list from which we can select the parameters that I want to work with. For example, number. Where is it? Here. Sheet number. Also sheet name. Then draw by. Design by. Then check by. Approve by. And yeah, I guess these would be enough. This is just an example. Now I'm going to enter sorting and grouping and set the sort by on sheet name. You know what? No sorting. Okay. Now up here, I'm going to use insert to add some more rows. We can start adding the names that we might find necessary. For example, plans, views, or any other thing. Yeah. And then after we're done, we can save everything in our template. And then within a new project, guys, we would easily be able to find all of these items in our placeholder segment. Just select the ones that you want, the items that you want, and your sheets would be created pretty much automatically. And well, guys, we can always try applying some specific modifications based on our own ideas or our own standards on the default sheets that we have in the projects. And also, guys, from the View tab, we can try creating a drafting view, which could be, for example, our starting page. Okay. This is how to create the page, guys. And then we actually need to specify this or set this as our starting page from Manage, guys. Now, from the project browser, guys, I can go ahead and open up the sheet. And then within the sheet, within the page, we can, for example, set our logo. Well, let me just try setting something here as an example, like Autodesk. All right. Then underneath Autodesk, I'm going to go with BIM-LOD. Basically, guys, after you're done specifying all the settings that you needed for your template, you need to save it with a RTE format. After specifying the format, give it a name like my first template. Why not? Specify a backup number for this, like 10. And okay, we're pretty much done here. Let's close this file down. All right, now let's say we want to start a new project. And now we got our own customized or personalized template here. All right. As for another thing, guys, if you open up options, you would be able to add your template in file location in order to set it as one of the default templates. Okay. Now let's go ahead and click on new one more time. And here we go. Now we got the template as one of the default ones. And to put this simply, guys, now we have access to all the settings that we just specified together. And now we can, for example, enter one of these views in order to start setting the levels and basically just begin our project. Now remember, guys, completely personalizing or customizing a project template takes time. In other words, you might be developing your templates more and more after finishing different projects. And guys, the steps that you need to take for developing a template is quite the same, or actually even completely the same as creating one. Just add the items and settings that you want, and at the end, save everything. Now you can save the result as a completely new file, new template called, for example, version 2, 3, and so on. Or you can just open up your template, add the items, specify the required settings, and at the end, just save everything here instead of creating a separate template. All right, guys, we're done here. This is how to create or customize your own personal templates. Hope you all enjoyed everything. Don't forget to practice. Until next time, goodbye and good luck.